Alright, so just wanted to go over a few major key differences between Dumbo 1941 and Dumbo 2019. So, one of the major key differences in this year's Dumbo and Dumbo 2019 is the crows from the original Dumbo, which is Dumbo 1941. They are no longer a part of this year's Dumbo, which is Dumbo 2019. The second thing, that major difference between Dumbo 1941 and Dumbo 2019 is the characters of Dumbo sing Baby Mine. And the next thing that's a major difference is the animals in Dumbo do not talk. And one of it, because that was just kind of something that Tim Burton kind of decided on his own accord. Next thing is that in this new Dumbo, the one that came out this year, was that instead of Dumbo arriving by a stork, this is about how Dumbo comes into the world. Instead of Dumbo arriving by a stork, he just arrives by out of his mother's womb, which is Mrs. Jumbo. The next thing is there is a scene where Mrs. Jumbo freaks out, but it's not like the original. It's not like the original one where it's not like the original movie from 1941 where she's defending her son from a group from those cruel boys. It's just basically where and the Mrs. Jumbo freakout scene from Dumbo 2019. It's basically like where they're in the circus tent and Mrs. Jumbo is in kind of like a little baby carriage coming into the big top, and that's when Mr. Jumbo actually sneezes. I think he sneezes or something. I can't remember. I think it's like he sneezes or something, and then he comes out of his little baby carriage, and the audience sees that his name has been changed to Dumbo, and they're all chanting they're all saying that Dumbo is a fake and all that stuff, and then that's when Mrs. Jumbo hears it, races in, and tries to defend Dumbo while the matriarch of the Farrier family, being Dumbo's, the Farrier family, which includes Mr. Farrier, Millie, and Joe. They're the three main people in this year's Dumbo are Mr. Farrier, Millie, and his two kids, Millie and Joe. Mr. Farrier tries to keep Mrs. Jumbo calm, but meanwhile there's this other guy. Looks kind of like maybe like an alcoholic or a meth addict or something. And then there's this other guy in the movie that's kind of looks like maybe as if he's kind of maybe like a meth addict or an alcoholic or something. And basically that was 1919 or so, and they didn't understand alcoholism and meth and drug addiction very well back then. So there's this other guy that's kind of like a meth addict or an alcoholic or a meth addict, and he kind of races in and is like, yeah, Mad Elephant, get back, and all this stuff. He's like, yeah, Mad Elephant, get back, and all this stuff. And that's when Mrs. Jumbo literally loses it, and that's the key difference between those are just a few of the key differences between those are a few of the key differences between the 1941 Dumbo and the 2019 Dumbo. The next Dumbo. Now here's a spoiler alert for all you. Now here's a spoiler alert for all I know. Here's a spoiler alert, folks. I know for all you diehard Disney fan. I know for all you diehard Disney fans who are all you diehard Disney fans out there. There is a spoiler alert for the ending. I'm going to give you kind of a hint of the ending. Basically, it's not like the original one. I am going to give you a hint on what happens at the end. It's not like the original one. It's all I can say is it's not like the original one where Mrs. Jumbo and Dumbo have their own private train car. It's basically the ending of Dumbo 2019 is where Mrs. Jumbo and Dumbo manage to escape the United States and go and live out the rest of their life and live freely in the wild. That's the kind of the spoiler alert. That's the spoiler alert for Dumbo. Those are just a few of the spoiler alerts for Dumbo 2019. So goodbye for now, folks.